All right, so I know it still looks a lot like just a big field of dead grass and stuff. And there's all kinds of stuff popping up through all of that mulch layer. And I really did think, man, I don't know how stuff can pop up through here because it seems like it's too dense. But it's not. You know, Jeff Sturgis does this and other people do this a lot with buckwheat. Something a little stemmier, which is probably a better cover crop than just weeds and dead grass and things like that. But it is certainly working. And this is our Sweet Feast Brassica blend. Check out these right here. Again, this is 10 days. That I don't know brassicas very well, but that, you know, just that root and stuff looks like maybe that's some type of like a tillage radish or something. These things are huge after 10 days. You know, there's a couple of them in here. This is like a little more open soil where it's not coming up through that mulch layer. There's certainly weeds and stuff around it, so hopefully these can grow and beat that out. It's just making me think, hopefully I didn't plant this stuff too heavy. This plot is between 1/4 of an acre and 1/3 of an acre, and John's bag said that it would plant 1/2 of an acre. So I used 1/2 of a bag through, you know, this whole thing. It's kind of a horseshoe shaped plot, if you will, with that fence right there. So hopefully I didn't put too much seed down. I didn't feel like I did, but I mean, these suckers right here are definitely looking good. I want to show you guys this too. I don't know if you can see some of the taller stuff back here, as well as right here in front of me. This is John Comp's plot screen that I put in a little bit late. So it is about, I don't know if you guys can see, it's probably it's over knee high. It's probably like mid thigh on me. So I talked to John quite a bit, and he said this stuff really isn't that great in wetter soil, and suggested that I put it in later when the soil gets drier. So I did. Unfortunately, I had my stupid little rototiller break while I was out here with it. So I actually put this in with a rake, and that rake also broke halfway through me putting this in. And I did this all with a, you know, 1/2 of it with a rake, the other 1/2 to 1/4 with a rake that was zip tied together. But I'm actually really happy with this. I knew I did not get a lot of soil depth on a lot of these, just because it was really hard for me to work this, you know, really wet soil. I mean, you guys can see how compacted that is. It's really hard for me to get the soil depth that you need for this. But I'm actually really happy that not only is this much growing, I didn't think it would, but it's growing really fast. It's getting, and if you look back here, I threw a little bit back here. It's actually doing quite well in this wetter spot. So I would say, John, this stuff, to me, it does better than I expected in wet soil. So I'm happy with it. I know we can do better next year now that I've messed with it. Even if it's not a rototiller, if it's, you know, the unfortunate situation of having to use some kind of like hand disc or a hoe or something, we can do that. It will work in this wet soil. So if we go back over here, we're gonna go up to this trail. I was really happy to see this. This is where I spread that bag of old feed oats. Again, not forage oats, just a cheap bag of like horse feed oats. And there's stuff growing. I mean, there's certainly a lot of stuff that's not, but check this out. It's just growing right in these clumps of grass. There's also, I think I had a little bit of clover left over too that I might have thrown in here. I can't really remember, but there are definitely oats growing where it's not, you know, this really low wet stuff. You can kind of see it all sprinkled through here. So that's awesome. I mean, no complaints. If you guys go and look, bags of feed oats, like 40 pound bags, I think they're only, I don't know, I want to say like 12 bucks or so. All right, so if we come over here, this is the horseshoe shaped trail. This is where we did our clover. I mean, check it out. It's kind of doing the same thing. And I really, you know, I don't want to say I like half-assed anything, but I didn't pick up a ton of sticks. I just tried to clear it as best as I could in the time that I had. And there is a lot of stuff popping up and growing. You know, even just these clumps of dirt. up through the sticks, up through the dead grass. You know, this up here is looking really, really good. And this is, like I said, this would be day 10. Over there in that wetter area, it's growing really nicely. I want to see how this is, because I mean, that looks okay. And some of this, we got a lot of rain. I mean, you can see some of these spots that were nice and dry, they got pretty soaked and are holding some water. So we'll see if anything pops up and germinates through those. But there's definitely stuff growing up through here. It might not be the prettiest. It might not be the most yield of any food plot, but it's gonna work for what we wanna do. And it was quick, it was easy, and it looks like it's working. A lot of this soil right here it's just pretty compacted. I didn't work any of this. I just spread fertilizer. But those little clover seeds, it doesn't take much soil depth, and especially doing it right basically as it was raining. I mean, they got in there far enough to start growing. All right, you guys, there you go. There's our, I guess, 10-day update for you. I hope you guys enjoyed and got a peek of how that works, and that it does actually work. I'm happy. It's working better than I thought. Like I said, I've done this a couple times, and I swear it surprises me every time. So don't be afraid to try it. I don't know exactly when we'll be back here again, but we do have a little bit more work to do on our blind. We're doing some camo on that. I'll show you guys a video of that when we're done with it. And then early September, the overseed will probably be the last time we're back here. So I'll definitely give you a couple updates when we do come back again. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, be a sportsman, make a sportsman.